our audience isn't the people that agree with us. And our audience isn't the people who disagree with us. Our audience are the people in the middle, the people on the fence, the majority of Americans. If we could just reach them, everything will change. Do you know how many years I've heard that bullshit? The people who say it, in my opinion, demonstrate by saying that, by believing that they have not been in the fight for the Second Amendment very long. They haven't had the time to really notice what works, what doesn't work, and how things kind of go. They kind of go our way, they kind of go against us. It goes back and forth, it's an ebb and flow. These are also people that, in my opinion, are in denial. They're in denial that the fight for the Second Amendment will never end unless or until the Second Amendment gets repealed entirely. Seriously. I don't know that they'll repeal the Second Amendment as long as we keep fighting. But there will never be this landmark Supreme Court case where they say, shall not be infringed, means shall not be infringed, cut and dry, plain and simple. All gun laws are unlawful, make them go away tomorrow. That's what you want. That's what everybody wants. It's never going to happen, people. It's never going to happen. And I, in my opinion, in my belief, based on my experience dealing with other people in the culture, the people that seem to think if we can just convince or, even worse, convert the people in the middle, there'll be so many people that are pro-2A that everybody will have to back off, and then we can just sit back and rest and worry about other things, that the fight will be over. Okay, the fight will never be over. And the main reason why the fight will never be over isn't because of the anti-gunners. They're only part of the issue. There are plenty of people that are pro-Second Amendment, or at least claim to be pro-Second Amendment, who don't want to see gun control go away either. And you're instantly going to the NRA. We'll keep going with acronyms. GOA, 2AF, FPC, whatever the acronym is for your state organizations. All of these gun rights groups profit off of your fear that they're coming for your guns. I'm not saying that they don't do a job for us. They're a necessary evil, but none of them, I don't care what they say, are interested in gun control going away. To make it even worse, there are lots of people on social media, in particular YouTube, who claim to be pro-2A, who claim to be fighting for the Second Amendment, but they know that if gun control went away tomorrow, their analytics would drop. They wouldn't be making as much money. Not as many people would be tuning into their videos, their live shows, would be filling their coffers with Patreon and PayPal money and all this other crap, how they make money. They make money fear-mongering. They do. Let's just call it for what it is. No different than the NRA or the GOA. And you go, the GOA doesn't do that. They're safe. Have you not read any of the emails you get? I get 3 a day from the GOA. They almost copy the NRA playbook verbatim. So whatever. But that's just it. I've been doing this long enough, and I haven't swallowed the flavor aid, and I can be objective enough that I can see things for what they are. Some people have the ability to see these things, but they don't want to see these things. They just want their little bubble. The world is this is their sphere of influence. This everything's just the way it is. And hey, man, if you want to put your head in the sand, that's fine. But there isn't this mass population of Americans in the middle, on the fence, as you would say. All right? So let's address what I kind of consider in the middle, and those are people who are moderates. Now, moderates might vote Democrat one time, Republican the next, independent this time. Maybe they do a mishmash of all of it. They're not leaning one way or the other. They're not necessarily independents. There are people who have voted independent or claim to be an independent because they're kind of disgusted with the Democrat or Republican parties, right? What is one of my friends calls it, the left-right paradigm, right? I get that. People are frustrated. And maybe where they live, it really doesn't matter whether they vote one way or the other. The other side or their side always wins historically, so they can just do whatever with their votes, okay? But just because you vote independent doesn't mean that you're on the fence. And if you are a moderate, because there are some out there, I know a few YouTubers that are moderates. One of them comes to mind in particular. This guy changes his opinion with whatever is popular. And he's a good example of what I consider a moderate. And that's just it. What's in the polls? What's in the news? What's the entertainment industry doing? What are my friends doing? What are my coworkers doing? What are other people on YouTube doing? What's trending, right? Those are kind of moderates. They don't really stand for anything. Seriously.
You probably don't even do your own fucking.
They don't stand for anything, and because of that, they're easily swayed. And because of that, they don't dig in their heels. Because of that, they might be easily convinced, coerced, or even converted, right? But because of that, I wouldn't consider a moderate a valuable ally in the fight. If I was some sort of financial analyst or something, I'd say, this isn't a good investment. You see, because they're so easily swayed, maybe you can make a compelling argument and get that moderate on the fence to say, you're right, I should care about the Second Amendment. Let me join your organization and subscribe to your channel and go to your rally, and I'll buy a gun and I'll tell all my friends. But then as soon as one of their friends says, guns are evil, they kill babies. Oh, you're right. I should get rid of this gun, and I should unsubscribe from that channel, and I shouldn't renew my membership to that organization. And why? What was I thinking going to that rally? I'll go to your rally instead. Seriously, that's a moderate. They don't stand for a damn thing. They drive me up a wall. And some people seem to think that if you're conservative, but yet you don't follow the party line, or you're liberal, but you don't completely follow the party line, that you're a moderate, right? So, for example, I've had people tell me that I am a moderate, I am a liberal, I am a FUD, because I am proud to be conservative, claim to be conservative, I'm pro-Second Amendment, but I don't give a shit about abortion. It's legal to kill your baby, so if you want to kill your baby, go for it. I don't care. My biggest issue has been about paying for it, okay? I feel the same way about paying for abortion as I do for welfare, all right? I'm not down with it, right? And there are so many people that are so hardcore, right-wing, conservative, Christian, and into this whole conversion thing, which I'll get to, that they see the fact that I'm not aligned with them on abortion as I'm part of the problem, not part of the solution. What does abortion have to do with the Second Amendment? Not a damn thing. Seriously, right? Let's just say that you're a liberal. You vote liberal, you're anti-gun, you're all this progressive socialist stuff like that, but you're a businessman. And you hide your money in tax shelters and try to get out of paying taxes wherever you can, look for deductions, and all these other things that you do because you're sick of paying for all these people, these deadbeats on welfare who are milking the system. Well, that's not a very liberal principle. So are you a moderate? You know, are you a hypocrite? So you don't have to follow the party line, as I'll call it, being a conservative or a liberal. You don't have to follow it 110%. And because you don't follow it 110% doesn't mean you're a moderate. But let's look at America over the past 5 years, maybe even a little bit longer. Let's look at the past 2 elections. Have we not seen the most division in this country since the mid-19th century? Seriously. Everybody was picking sides. And in some cases, it wrecked relationships. It cost people their jobs. It created a lot of division where some people lost their lifelong friends. You name it, okay? And it's still going on. The division is still there. This past election, the one that the results are illegitimate, that's still creating division. And the upcoming midterms and the upcoming presidential election, even though it's down the road, that's going to create even further division. So don't tell me that there's a vast majority of Americans that vote independent, and that means that they're on the fence, potentially moderates, but maybe not necessarily moderates, that are out there. It's just not true. I'm not saying they don't exist, but they don't exist in the numbers that you people seem to be desperately clinging to, thinking that this is going to resolve your issue.
What do you need, you people?
Now, let's get to converting people. I hear this all the time, and it drives me nuts. All we need to do is convert people. All right, understand this. The other side, the side that the anti-gunners are on, that side converts people. They coerce people. They intimidate people. They lie to people in order to get them to follow the party line, their party line. And people are, in general, stupid and do this, okay? Think of that George Carlin joke. Think of the dumbest motherfucker you've ever met in your life. Over half the population of the planet is dumber than that person. That is true. And people don't want to think for themselves. It's like too much work. They just want to be spoon-fed the truth, even if it's a lie. I put the truth, air quotes, right? They want to be told what to think, what to wear, how to talk, where to go, what to do, how to feel, how to act, what to believe, and that's that. Okay? How do you think churches have gotten so powerful? And I'm not an atheist, by the way, but let's just call it for what it is, right? Because there's lots of falsehoods in that. Or, I guess it's up to your opinion. But regardless, people will willingly give up control of their life to somebody else. And I don't understand why. I just don't. But they do. A lot of people. And it doesn't matter what side you're on. You might go, oh, yeah, those are all the liberals. Those are all the Democrats. Republicans and conservatives do it, too. In droves. They swallow the flavor aid. So the country is divided. There isn't this majority in the middle. And if you want to convert them, you're doing the exact thing that the other side has been doing to the nation. If you want to stoop to that level, go ahead. Because sometimes in war, adopting the tools and tactics of your enemy will help you win, at least tactically, maybe strategically, in some cases strategically, but it's typically a tactical advantage. If what they're doing works and what you're doing doesn't, I understand that. I totally understand that as a method. However, I try to avoid that whenever possible. I try to take the higher road. And it's really not that hard to do. Now, I'm not saying you've got to do things my way or you're doing it wrong. I'm not one of those people either, all right? You keep doing things your way. You keep believing that there's all these people on the fence that are just waiting to jump off the fence into your arms and let them tell you how things are. And now you'll have all these minions out there that will be pushing back so that the politicians lay off the Second Amendment, and that the entertainment industry lays off the Second Amendment, and that the media lays off the Second Amendment, and then we can all just cool our heels, and then maybe we can move on to abortion or whatever the hell next you want to go to, right? Immigration, or pick a topic, right? But it's just not gonna happen. It's a pipe dream. I'm not trying to be negative Nancy, Debbie Downer, and I am, admittedly, a pessimist by nature. I use that as a strength, not a weakness. A lot of people let that hold them back, and I don't. It's motivation for me. This is a lifelong fight. It will never end. And even if you've been doing this for like the past 8 years, in some ways you're still new to it. Newer than me, at least. That doesn't mean that you don't have a right to an opinion, and that doesn't mean that you're not contributing. And it doesn't mean that just because you're not doing it my way, that you're not doing something. Everybody's doing something. A lot of people say that our division or our differences are a weakness, and I look at them as a strength. They just say, as long as we would just, if we would just get together, just for a little bit, under me, under my leadership, okay? My way, not your way.
Hang on with both hands. I said both hands, damn it!
Then we could tackle this issue and put it to bed once and for all. No, it's another pipe dream. It's another bunch of bullshit. And when this person takes all your money and walks away, you're going to be going, hey, I thought we were getting our rights back. But you believe that crap too. So you just keep believing what you're believing. But the longer you're in this, maybe if you're just a little bit objective, you might start to see some things for what they are, and you might start to understand what I mean about this mythical population on the fence and all the other things that I covered in this video. And if you disagree with me, hey, use YouTube and make your own video. Explain why I'm wrong. You want to use the comment section? Go ahead. Just don't write me a damn book, because I won't read it. Hopefully I made my point. And I'm not trying to convert you. I'm simply giving you my opinion, my experience, and what you do with it is what you do with it. You could say he's an idiot, I don't care. Okay. You could say he's got some good points. Maybe I should use some critical thinking and analyze that. Maybe fact check him, or maybe kind of try to look at this from just a different perspective and see if I can integrate that into what I do. Or you could just go, yep, that's just Squib being Squib. It doesn't matter what you do with it. because I'm never going to be there trying to convert you. I'll disagree with you all day long. And depending on how we can be after we've had that disagreement, that's going to show me a lot more about your character than your analytics on YouTube or what you claim to be doing in order to fight for the Second Amendment. So, yeah. Hopefully I covered everything. Long video. Thanks for listening or watching.